I stole TenZ's secret aiming routines to see if they could make me a better player within 24 hours. I spent an obnoxious amount of time breaking down all of TenZ's aiming routines from all of his eras as a player to find the logic behind his skill and maybe rank up back to Ascendant. And I just want to say, the information I got from this case study genuinely shocked me. I reached PRs that I haven't hit in literal months. Yeah, the title says 24 hours, but I only needed 4 to see new things in my gameplay. I'm literally not exaggerating. You will not walk out of this video the same person. But before we can talk about that, let's go through the actual different versions of TenZ. TenZ's 2024 Master Madrid run as Omen, TenZ's time during Sentinels as their duelist Golden Boy, and TenZ's time during Cloud9 as their Dark Horse. And yes, these two are completely different players, and the TenZ that hit Radiant for the very first time. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, because first we need to deal with 2024 Master Madrid TenZ, arguably the best, most complete version of the TenZ we all know and love. Fascinatingly enough, this was probably the point of his career where he relied on his mechanics the least. The skills that TenZ excelled in during this time was his creativity, aggression, risk-taking, and then his stellar mechanics. And this playlist on Aimlabs best reflects that. TenZ, but from 2024. Since he wasn't relying the most on his mechanics during this time, he actually had to respect the basics of aiming even more so than usual. Which basically means being as fast as you can while sacrificing as little accuracy as possible. And the thing that's focused on when you're trying to do that is rhythm, or the way you pace your shots. And this playlist actually complemented that really well. There were a lot of time-sensitive scenarios. And what's a completed version of TenZ without tracking tasks to train for stability? And just like that, the playlist was complete, but that was only the start. Because like I said, what defined TenZ during this time was more the way he played Omen rather than his actual mechanics. And I don't play Omen, like at all. And when I do play Omen, I usually just get bullied off of him. So I actually wasn't sure on how I could transfer his champion skill onto a diamond like me. There were a lot of things I wasn't sure about, like how to time my smokes, or how to flash for my team, especially on this new stinky smelly map. But there were things I did kind of get, because I don't play Omen, but I do play Jett a lot. So when it came to being creative, having aggression, taking risks, it was a lot less intimidating because all I had to do was transfer my skills, not get new ones. And it led to this round, where I got my very first breakthrough.
Abusing. Nice.
I'm gonna get my op.
The smoke flash TP play kind of reminds me of Jett's entry pattern, right? TenZ, you sly dog. You never left your roots.
Pro here.
You just found a new way to use them. In a way that serves your team in even better ways than before. But maybe that is what strength really is.
Damn.
Okay. 2024 Masters Madrid TenZ found. But this video is far from over. The Jett main TenZ era, arguably the most popular version of TenZ. After leaving C9, his raw talent was fully realized. A young prodigy learning the importance of balance in his play, trading dynamic movement with overwhelming consistency and reactivity. But make no mistake, he was still a highlight reel with incredible precision. But whatever he was trying to prove during his C9 time was a thing of the past, making a player that grew out of trying to hit hero plays every single round, but turned into a quiet superpower that occasionally showed his mechanics, but as flashes of brilliance rather than the selling point.
Let's go, Tyson!
That's my name.
And this playlist best showed that. Yeah, some of the old ones were there, but there were a lot of scenarios that had emphasis on reaction, precision, with the most standout thing being how well he trained his full range of motion in his aim. During this time, he trained his arm, wrist, fingers, and palm. He quite literally left no muscle group up to chance. Which makes sense. When you lean on all of your muscle groups, you're just going to become a more consistent player. That's just how things go. Compared to his Cloud9 days, it really does look like he matured and grew a lot, even if he doesn't play with as much flair as he did back then. But there was no time to think about it, because it was time for my next ranked game. And finally get to Ascendant! Yeah, I know I was playing like doo-doo. My need to play like TenZ was consuming me. My reactions were jaggered, I was forcing a lot of my fights, and my play didn't just reflect that, but screamed at me. When I needed it the most, my play failed me. But it started making me look at TenZ's story. TenZ had a great career, but that's only because it had a happy ending. There was a time where TenZ seemed like a fallen angel. Everything was going wrong.
Whatever, honestly, what are they gonna do? You can get mad at a cancer patient? I already have everything going wrong for me right now.
Do we eat healthy?
If Sentinels don't qualify, is a roster change? And if so, where do you fucking go? What do you do? If they're running into a dead end, then...
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you tell us?
That's not funny.
Again, for the player we are hoping to expect more of, and actually we're expecting more. We're not hoping to, we do expect more out of him.
Then maybe it's time to make that change.
I actually got really depressed when I noticed everyone was like saying mean stuff about me.
And it made me start thinking, do you think when TenZ is down, he thinks, oh, how can I play more like me? No, he just focuses on what he can do on the rounds and doesn't let his past define him. And ironically enough, I had to stop trying to play like TenZ to start performing like TenZ, ignoring what the public says.
Yo, GG's guys were dodging, so I seen the 0.7 insta-lock Jett and I was like, alright, we last.
And focusing on not what you are, but on the task at hand, and just play Valorant. Whatever latency that I had during this time was gone. I was able to play my heart out, and out of nowhere, I dropped a straight nuke on their head tops. 30 kills? I haven't dropped 30 kills in almost a year. I'm almost scared to fact check that because it might even be longer than that. And it's so fascinating. The process of getting that 30 bomb was really underwhelming, which I guess is the point when you're trying to be a reliable player. But I still had traces of me wanting to prove myself as a good aimer, and it was holding me back, more than I'm proud to admit. Until I learned something, you will always get the chance to prove yourself. Those aren't the moments you should be looking for, but patience. The patience for the opportunity to present itself. But until then, focus. Don't even try to skip a single step. Learn things from 1 through 10, 1 through 20. Hell, you can even try things from A to Z. Just don't stop. Play with full faith that all of your yesterdays will serve you today. By the way, I just want to say, none of these clips would have been possible if I hadn't trained all of my muscle groups. Just wanted to point that out. But yeah, send TenZ complete. Now for the one I'm most excited for.
You gotta be a little more explosive there, boys.
Before he was Sentinel's golden boy,
We don't deserve this win, honestly.
he was Cloud9's dark horse. Fresh off the boat in the CSGO part of his life, TenZ was a scrappy, aggressive player with something to prove, and his aiming style definitely reflected that. Unlike current TenZ, this version of him relied heavily on arm and finger aiming. If a regular player plays like this, with his palm and wrist controlling his mouse, then TenZ did it like this, with only his arm and fingers to do most of the heavy lifting, which is harder to sustain long term, but you can't deny that style is explosive. Quick and dynamic. Even though you don't have the stability compared to a full muscle setup, using just your arm and your fingers helps you recover a lot faster. Maybe it's from agility, but what I did know is that this aiming routine definitely followed through on that. Rhythm, reaction, precision, and now speed. Unlike the TenZ arc, I wasn't bogged down by the need to perform because I was just really excited to try out the style of aiming. And as you'd expect, I failed a lot at first, especially at farther distance, which makes sense, I think. I have a theory that since you're relying more on your fingers, it makes you move more when you need more stability than usual. But that's just a theory, I don't know. But what I did know is that I was making plays that I haven't done ever. I've literally been trying this play ever since the map came out. I just never had the speed and stability for it. I was bold, I was eager, with a full range of motion that I never had before. I knew I was feeling myself becoming a force to be reckoned with.
Wow, bro. Good job.
I'm crying, son.
C9 TenZ found. And now for the final version of TenZ. The TenZ that hit Radiant for the very first time. To be honest, this TenZ I don't think is much different compared to C9 TenZ. I think this was during the in-between time where he wasn't playing competitive Valorant, but he wasn't playing CSGO either. This guy was streaming, trying Viper, Sage. You can say a lot about this TenZ, but you can't deny that this version of him was having fun, which is what Valorant is all about. When you look at the story of TenZ, you find a young man looking to prove himself, burdened with expectation and a need to win that triumphed his need to just get a high kill count. Met like-minded people and was able to prove to the world that he wasn't just a ranked demon.
Let's go, Tyson! That's my name.
But a pure competitor to his very core. Even when they doubted him, he still chose to move forward. And with the faith of the people around him, he managed to meet them halfway on the biggest stage of imaginable. The further the next talent that comes along. Wow, what a moving way to end a video. You know what would make this viewing experience even better? An ad read, let's go! This video is sponsored by me! Every clip/training montage you've seen in this video was made using the Viper V3 Razer Death Adder, a big old mouse with an even bigger polling refresh rate. Do I know what that means? No. But does it help me get kills? Yes. So if you want to make my day and my Christmas, you should go check it out. And if you don't want to do that, you can just comment that you enjoyed the video. That would make my Christmas. That would make my Christmas.